Guess what? The Ndxt equal weighted Nasdaq 100 Technology Sector Index ETF companion QTech has formed a third diamond topping pattern. This is a two-sided diamond topping pattern. Over here is the one-sided diamond bottoming pattern, and it took off to the races right into a complex head and shoulder pattern, which it blasted out of after a lame drawdown here, and then off to the races, formed this diamond two-sided topping pattern here in red, and blasted out of there, got about up to the 50% target range, about 1150. And then the last scare from the aftermath of the previous Fed meeting and jobs reports, etc., sent the Ndxt and technology stocks to the basement here. So I'll zoom in now. We'll take a look in that area. So we're looking at the one in purple dashed here, and here's this line goes this way, and nice support here, and then fell in, and it had a couple of breaches of the lower line. That's fine. And then we had that big red candle, and then off to the races. And now we have this side of the diamond over here with really good resistance, and the support over here has a double whammy up day lower close set of candles here, and that's bullish. So there was a gap down in price from the previous day's closing price, but closed up for the day, and this price action is considered bullish. So that's one thing going for it. And it's 20% from this peak down to here, so if it breaks down out of it and heads down, and this actually comes to fruition, well, there's your bear market, 20% mainstream indication there. Break out to the upside, well, it's off the charts, but you can see that it will eventually make it up into the exosphere and beyond towards the Kuiper belt. And we're using some of the lines from the previous half diamond, one-sided diamond. This one here is the bottom line from that diamond, so like this line here, which we're using too as a resistance line. So that one from the half diamond is support, and then this line from this topping diamond is going to be support also. It's a downtrend line, and this one is from that jump up right before the complex head and shoulders pattern. So we have a couple of support lines there going to the upside, and one to the downside, and one up here to the upside. And over in DeMarker, there's a qualified and confirmed demand line here. And here's the projection, so maybe it could jump out of that diamond to the downside, nail this demand projection, and then head up. And I suppose that would be acceptable. It would have to jump back up into that diamond pattern and then blast out of there in the future. And this first uptrend line here in the Ndxt is at 94.15, so that's the first uptrend, second uptrend, third uptrend, and then the downtrend line. You can see those levels on the big board in the lower left corner of the spreadsheet. And this demand projection is at 94.94, so better part of almost 100 points away from that first uptrend line. And the D wave, down wave 3, which D wave is on, and will print D wave, down wave 3 on a tick lower than this low over here for tomorrow. Then the next day it's this low, then this low, etc. Rinse and repeat. D wave, up wave C, which D wave up is on. The C won't actually print until it ticks lower than A over here. So this low, 9024.04, it will get a plus sign tomorrow if it ticks lower than this and stays away from going lower than this. But eventually the C will print on a tick lower than this low. And both of them can just keep going to the downside indefinitely, meaning every day it could carry and shift over if it keeps going to the downside, that up C and down 3. And our EI is under its oversold negative 40, so it just went under yesterday. And DM1 has been under there too, all at the same time. Same thing with ROC. And the ADX of the DMI at 24.01 is barely clinging on to the uptrend. You can see the directional movement up, and the ADX finally went into up right here at 20. So it's been carrying that. Even though we had this huge downdraft, we still have yet to get a lower low, and that C, when it prints, will definitely take care of that. And this will probably be under 20, and that's indicating a directional movement for price to the downside. So technically that looks ugly, and if these levels come in, I don't know what's good news and bad news. The U.S. unemployment report, I suppose less than that. So if there's a significant downwards revision other than this estimate, same thing over here, 99,000 ADP and 140. So yeah, I don't even know what to think, what's good news and bad news anymore. For sure, if the unemployment rate ticks up or stays the same as 4.3 or goes higher, that's huge, and that would be a lot of trouble. And if it ticks down or stays the same at 4.2, I would say it would have to tick down to have a significant move to the upside, and this would be nice to tick down to 0.2% also, as it's getting more expensive to hire and keep workers. And year over year it's ticked up 0.1%. You don't think that's much, but it's putting the nerves to the test here for investors and traders.